I'm Bruin, this is my brother Max, and we run Malt Coast Brewery, based on the family farm on the Norfolk coast. It started 18 months ago, and probably the main reason is we're here on an award-winning malting barley farm, and it's a family farm, and we wanted to close the loop and realise the end product. Who influenced us? So we visited a few breweries, but we actually loved Colonel's beers. We loved their branding, their stripped back branding, and felt that it was true to a really clear identity, and that's what we wanted to achieve. And their beers also, we enjoyed them. So I think Colonel was one of the people that we were certainly looking at.
Beer isn't in our blood, but the barley's in our blood. So we're a third generation malting barley farm, and barley or malt is the main ingredient for beer.
The heart and soul.
What makes us different is the authentic story that we have behind our brewery. The fact that we're based on our family farm, we grow the malting barley, and we can trace that malt right back to the specific field on the farm.
Success of our brewery, well, similar to the last question, it's about authenticity and credibility. You know, a real genuine producer-led story that we can get behind, and consumers can get behind.
We started to realise we were onto something when really the nature of the restaurants and the places that we were getting into. So in the last year we've got into multiple Michelin star restaurants in London, and I think that was a clear sign that the right people were taking us seriously.
What favourite Malt Coast beer or favourite beer?
Either. Both.
Both. So I think Malt Coast beer is our black IPA for me. And it might be for you as well. Yeah. And my favourite beer outside of Malt Coast is, I really like the tamarind and lime leaf sour that Brick Brewery do in the summer, not in winter. It's a beer for the season.
Max?
A great beer I had just the other day was Gypsy Hill Brogan. I like a lot of Gypsy Hill beers, and that was a particularly refreshing.
I think we're coming back to the story again. In terms of fans, they love, that there is a genuine story and that there's traceability, there's provenance, and there's a really clear identity behind who we are and what we do and the product, and it represents a sense of place.
And we seem to be different to the majority out there.
Norfolk beer scene, traditional.
Incredibly traditional,
but historic in many ways. What's wonderful is it has, Norfolk has a really strong history of beer, producing beer. Some of the largest maltings in the country were based here and still are, but it's traditional real ale historically, and so we wanted to do something slightly different, and bring brewers a more contemporary beer, and that's starting to happen here, I think.
For the moment, it's bottle and can, and I think it will be for the foreseeable future. How big do we want to be?
Well, it's never been about volume for us. That's not what's driving us. It's about having a character and an identity and producing good beer and
selling in the right places.
And selling in the right places and a lovely brand, and we'll get to where we want to be by doing that, I think. We haven't collaborated with anyone. It's early days for the brewery. We send our malt to a brewery in Florida called Orchid Island, and they brew with peach limes, special limes.
Well, they have orchards there, so they're telling quite a similar story to us.
A producer-led story with their lime orchards, and so they're interested in doing a collaboration. I think that would be quite fun. Two kind of farms, but one a Florida farm and then a UK farm coming together to collaborate.
We're definitely creating the same style of beer. From the very beginning, we were clear in terms of what we wanted to produce and make sure it never left our identity and our story, and that will continue.
I mean, for us, we're going to continue doing what we're doing because we're doing it well and it's being successful. For the beer market, I think, as we were saying, non-alcoholic beers are huge and they're going to continue going that way, and barrel-aged beers are on trend.
And for us, I think we're going to try and make here more of a destination brewery. So we've got plans to create a tap room for this summer, so people can kind of come and see the brewery and enjoy the beers on site.
The world of beer, the biggest challenge is I think, I think there's a huge movement against alcohol generally. That's not just beer, and beer is part of that. So I think we have to make sure that there's, a responsible, positive message, and also low alcohol beers are going to become more and more important. Environmental issues, sustainability is a big issue that the industry is going to have to tackle.
Yeah, I think staying ahead of the game on the sustainability piece will be important.
And we're, I think being in Norfolk and in a rural place for us, it's not easy to get our beers to market, but it's also part of our identity. So we're quite excited about taking this little spot and bringing it to the world.
I think we'll do.